Hastings from Independent. In the middle, all Southwest Conference, 44, Scott Hastings from Independent, Kansas.
Just a junior at 6'10", he was unanimous all Southwest Conference as a sophomore. Scores anywhere, the leading scorer at 16.
All right, buggy number 20, Darrell Walker, a transfer. He's from Chicago, Illinois.
6'4" sophomore, a big key to the fast start that Arkansas has had. Leads team in assists, steals, and rejects.
All right, and the 6'2" senior is U.S. Reed, number 24, and the guy to really watch. He's an extremely talented player.
Sometimes spectacular, always consistent. Reed will be in double figures, averaging 14 this year, and Eddie Sutton, 151 and 40 in his 7th year with the Razorbacks.
Well, Arkansas, they start them young here, don't they? The Razorbacks. By the way, that wasn't always their name. Their original name were the Cardinals. And one year their football team played an extremely gutty, hard game. And their coach says something to the effect that they play like a bunch of Razorbacks, and it stuck. And now they are not the Cardinals anymore, but the Arkansas Razorbacks. I know one thing. They love their basketball now. As we've said many times before, the Southwest Conference used to be just a football conference. Forget that, because these two clubs have now made it a basketball conference.
And these two coaches have been a big part of that great interest. Walker jumps center and gets it back. What a start.
All right, that's Walker, number 20, U.S. Reed wears 24. That's Scott Hastings, their big All-Southwest Conference center. Brad Friss. Trying to post Peterson, it looks like, inside. They're playing against the zone.
Now, the Texas defense is more of a matchup. It's a very complicated thing. It tries to bend and not break. They are going to give you outside shots as a rule and cut you off inside.
Walker. Darrell Walker. And it's 2-0. Arkansas pressing. They're known for this. And Texas's ability to handle this is going to have a big say as to how this game turns out. And now a foul called. A blocking foul called against Arkansas.
The key to Arkansas scoring in spurts is that they generate so much of their offense off the defense. If they're able to score, they have time to set up the defense. So if they're missing, they have to fall back. But if they're scoring, they can keep the pressure on you, and they can run them off very fast on you. Incredible quickness.
All right, the foul was on Press. Now you're talking about a man-to-man when you talk about Arkansas. They love to play man. All right, a travel. I turned the ball over to Texas, but there was no signal as to why they turned it over.
It was a 5-second call, and of course, they only jumped the ball one time in the Southwest Conference. It's an experimental rule. After that, they alternate possessions on what would be jump balls. That's what happened.
All right, they try to get the ball inside to LaSalle, and the foul is called, a non-shooting foul inside. It's on Scott Hastings.
Just to refine that a little bit, Arkansas controlled the opening tip, so the next possession went to Texas. Now, the next time there's a jump ball situation, it will be Arkansas's ball. It will go that way through the entire game unless there's an overtime, and then they'll re-jump it.
Walker with a rebound. On a missed shot by Mike Wacker. Hastings. And it's 4-0 Arkansas.
Here comes the press.
Pass, Carson saves it. And Hastings is traveling.
Texas not showing much poise early against the Arkansas press. They're throwing it around. It's an adventure. LaSalle Thompson missed Carson on the fly pattern, and right now it's very hairy, but that has to be to Arkansas's liking. That's what they want to do with their pressure.
All right, this is Ray Harper. He's only a freshman, averaging 10 a game from Bremen, Kentucky. And LaSalle Thompson hits the outside shot. And it's a 4-2 ball game now. Arkansas over Texas. LaSalle Thompson, only a sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And he has all the qualities, boy. He could be a great player. U.S. Reed misses from the outside. LaSalle, Thompson with the rebound. The long release. Johnson is ahead of the field, and Johnson has tied the game up. Henry Johnson, the 6'6 junior from L.A., and it's a 4-4 game. Walker's the point guard. He's a transfer boy. He's really helped his club out of Chicago, Illinois. And a whistle and traveling. Peterson trying to work on the inside is called for traveling.
Wacker at the top of the Texas zone is 6'8". It's causing some problems as far as Arkansas being able to rotate the ball. Actually, when the ball goes to the wing, Wacker will then back in and play about free throw line. And if it goes to the corner, he goes all the way under. So they keep his size right in the middle of the floor. It's a gimmick, but it's effective.
Here's to LaSalle Thompson. And LaSalle had an easy time in shooting over Hastings. And it's now Texas on top, 6-4. They spotted Arkansas the 4-0 lead, and they've scored 3 straight hoops, 2 by LaSalle.
Again, going back now, Arkansas has to score to set up their press. They're just another basketball team in a drop-back defense. But when they're scoring or on violations, they get to put the speed on you, full court.
U.S. Reed again. And the game is tied. Reed's done a lot of work on that jump shot. Between the sophomore and junior year, he did a lot of work on it. Much like Darrell Griffith had to do it at Louisville. Boy, they were always tough on the inside because they could jump, but they had to keep him honest with that 15, 18-footer, and now U.S. hits that pretty well. Here comes the pressure. Harper gets rid of it with a good pass to Wacker in the front court. So Texas handled it that time.
Texas not passing very crisply against that pressure, and there's so much speed. You got to come to meet it, and you got to throw crisp passes.
Carson missed the shot. Thompson got the rebound and was fouled by Peterson underneath of Arkansas.
Underneath, battling for position. LaSalle Thompson with a great grab, showing good hands. Had his legs taken out from under him, but was strong enough and had soft enough hands to pull it in.
The timeout has been called. We'll be back with more prime time college basketball after these messages. All right, 6-6 ball game. Texas and Arkansas here at Fayetteville at Barnhill Arena. This arena a couple of years ago only sat 4,000 people. But Eddie Sutton came to town, got everybody excited. Now it's a 9,000-seat arena. They've been sold out for 4 straight years. You can't get near a ticket.
Arkansas going 2-3 off the inbounds off the defensive. Oh, there's a nice pick out there. Johnson rang Walker's bell. One of the things that Texas has always done well is pick a zone. And, of course, they're not going to see in Arkansas in it very much. Arkansas is going to play man for man, except in this very special situation.
Beautiful touch from the outside by Ray Harper, the freshman, 5'11" from Bremen, Kentucky. He's averaging 10 a game. And Texas goes on top again, 8-6. Press from the corner. Kept alive on the board, and a foul. Foul against Arkansas. Foul's going to be called against U.S. Reed.
Press taking the jumper from the corner, gets the front of the iron. Texas doing a good job of working for position. It gets a second hit on the iron. They called Reed for leaning on LaSalle Thompson. LaSalle probably didn't even feel it.
Ray Harper handles it well. Thompson on the outside. They've got Wacker at the top of the key.
Despite LaSalle Thompson's bulk at 6'10", 240. Ooh.
And Wacker banks it in with the help of an Arkansas hand. And now it's 10-6. And Texas playing well early on, Bucky.
That's been the way they've operated here. With all this noise and intensity, they've managed to lead the last 3 years at the half. Arkansas is not used to that. They run them out of here.
Walker from the outside. He hit it again. Darrell Walker's at his second straight from the outside, and it's now 10-8. Texas by 2. Carson. Johnson on the outside. The short jumper is home again. And Texas shows a lot of poise in breaking the press and getting the open shot. It's 12-8 Texas.
Johnson, number 43 for Texas, wears protective glasses. He only has one eye. And if the ball comes from the right side, he does have some difficulty. But he is a
press from behind. The fans didn't like it, but that was a great block. Johnson on the outside. Good point about his eye. Johnson on the baseline. Good position that time. Hastings had LaSalle Thompson boxed off. Walker, U.S. Reed, watch his jumping ability. U.S. Reed, he's only 6'2", but he jumps through the moon. 12-10.
Walker to Reed. Eddie Sutton cannot imagine a better backcourt combination in the country than his.
Nice work by the freshman Harper. Carson to LaSalle Thompson. Great steal by Reed. U.S. Reed made a great defensive play. Walker the other way. Arkansas down by 2. They wanted a foul call there.
That would have been a chicken foul.
Walker tries to slide one through, and Johnson alertly picks it off for Texas. And a rookie, the freshman Harper, over the timeline.
The last time down, Texas missed. That was the first time in 5 minutes. This has also helped to keep the running game of Arkansas down. It's hard to run with makes.
And Walker got it from 16 feet, and it's 14-10. The Longhorns on top.
They had TCU, they being Arkansas, had TCU 40-18 at the half in here Saturday night. So far, Texas has managed to score, which means no fast breaks off misses, and they've managed to keep the offense down of Arkansas.
Press, can't get it out of the corner again. LaSalle Thompson, great pass to Johnson, and Johnson is fouled. Press, foul Johnson. Henry Johnson. He became a starter midway through last year. Played well, especially through the playoffs. Let's watch this.
Good pass up the floor by Carson. Johnson not hesitating at all, attacking the basket, taking the ball right at it. A fine play. Press had to take a hold of him. The foul from Press's standpoint was good because he really made it severe enough as to not risk a three-point play.
Johnson played at Manual Arts High School in Los Angeles, averaged 30.3 a game in high school, Bucky, and was the leading scorer in Los Angeles, and that's a pretty tough league.
They've turned out a lot of good ones. They will argue with you in Southern California that their basketball is as good as any in the country. And if you look at the UCLA teams and some of the others that have come out of there, it's a pretty good point.
Walker, a tougher shot. He doesn't get this one, and Johnson rips off the rebound. Texas by 6. And they get it off to Carson. Freddie Carson, the sophomore. This is a youngster that at the top of the show, you saw the shot that gave Texas a 1-point lead before the Reed shot. It was Carson, who was a freshman at the time, who had hit that pressure shot. So he knows what it is to play under pressure. Johnson at the foul line. LaSalle Thompson almost to an air ball. Didn't look like he was ready to shoot that, Bucky.
You know, for a big guy, he really doesn't get much done inside. He's got a soft touch and all of that. But he could be much more effective against Arkansas by putting his body down inside.
Hastings, rebound, anyone's ball, and Walker is fouled. Foul by Carson. It's a non-shooting foul. First foul on Carson. 16-10, Texas on top, and a timeout has been called here at Barnhill Arena in Fayetteville, Arkansas. With a score, the Longhorns of Texas 16, the Razorbacks of Arkansas 10. Let's pause for these messages. Of this telecast without written consent is prohibited. The announcers on this telecast have been hired and paid for by Madison Square Garden Productions, Incorporated. Jim Carvelis and Bucky Waters in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and the Longhorns of Texas lead Arkansas 16-10.
Yeah, with 11:30 to go, it's like Texas 7 out of 11 from the floor. Arkansas 5 out of 11. Both teams shooting well. Texas shooting better.
Tony Brown is in the game now for Arkansas, replacing Press. Brown, number 40. And he's roaming the baseline. The long jumper from U.S. Reed is pulled off by LaSalle Thompson. There's the release. Walker has one to travel. I'll tell you, the fans respond to everything. Every pass, every foul, real or imagined. LaSalle Thompson. That was a nice pass by the penetrating Carson and it's 18-10, and LaSalle's got 3 hoops now.
That time they cleared the floor for Carson, and he had a clear floor, but changed gears and went down the middle, caught everybody napping against the grain.
Hastings can work on the inside or the outside. He's got a good enough touch from the outside to hit from the perimeter, and he knows how to work on the inside. They put some weight on him. Put a couple pounds on, worked in the weight room. U.S. Reed. Now, U.S. Reed from the baseline, according to Eddie Sutton, is as good a baseline shooter as he's ever had.
Well, that's where he's going to be. He's going to attack LaSalle Thompson's side of the zone. Thompson is the best rebounder and the biggest man. Whoa, what an adventure. I'll get back to that point in a minute.
Carson made a great save. The fans didn't think so, but it was a great save. Reed went for the steal. Carson got it to Thompson as a result, and the foul is called, and LaSalle will go to the foul line.
We play well over here. We haven't really had a bad game over here. Every game we played has been rather close. First year they beat us 11. They beat us 32 in Texas, and we get 11. And we played close. We've won a game over here. They beat us the last second shot before, and I guess I'd settle for that again.
All right, Abe Lemon talking about how it is to play here. It is a noisy place. It is a tough place to play. However, his Texas teams have played some great basketball games here.
He's doing the best thing he can do right now. Texas is putting the ball in the hole. It just looks like a matter of time before that Arkansas press is going to start picking off those errant Texas passes. And also, I'm sure Abe Lemons was pleased to see LaSalle Thompson not fade away for a jump shot. But that time he took it right to the basket. LaSalle Thompson has shot 42 free throws this year. In 3 Southwest Conference games prior to this, in which they're 0-3, he only shot 5 free throws.
That's incredible. I mean, a guy that should be working on the inside. Actually, I try to average that out, Bucky. He's averaging a little over 3 free throws a game. I mean, for a guy 6'10" with that kind of size, that's amazing.
There can only be one answer. He's playing in a tuxedo. I mean, when you're that big and strong, you got to go in there and move some folks. And what he wants to do is kind of shoot that fadeaway jumper, which is fine too. But he puts no pressure on the defense, and he's not going to get that other center, who in this case is a good one, Scott Hastings, in foul trouble.
All right, LaSalle gets another. It's 18-12, Texas. First one short, the second long. Wacker had it blocked away. LaSalle Thompson gets the ball.
Wacker's good-looking freshman. He's in there banging people.
All right, here's Carson. Carson a sophomore, Harper a freshman. That's an interesting looking defense.
It's just tough man for man.
And they work at it, boy.
And they're patient.
He stepped on the line. Carson stepped on the line. The turnover gives the Razorbacks the ball, down by 6 with 9:30 to play in the first half.
Turnovers really plagued Texas against Houston. Houston beat Texas by 20 on Saturday night. Texas was shooting 56%, and yet they were down 3 at the half. And the answer was 11 turnovers.
Right over to Tony Brown. They give him the shot. Peterson missed it, and a rebound to Peterson. Now he can't pick it up off the floor, and Wacker can. Now if Texas hurries, they've got an advantage, and Johnson made a great shot. A great shot by Johnson on the drive, and it's 20-12 Texas.
Well, this crowd has been pretty much handled by Texas so far. A great game plan. Still the same defense. 1-2-2.
LaSalle Thompson is fouled by Peterson. Peterson came over the top to get him. Peterson's their leading rebounder, Keith Peterson. But that time, a classic example of not having position.
Scott Hastings shoots the jumper. Oh, look at Reed try to get inside. He did, but the aircraft carrier was there. LaSalle Thompson had 2 pretty good hands on it. As we mentioned before, with LaSalle Thompson on the deep left side of that board, that would be the best side to attack the zone, because when you put the ball on that side, you're going to bring LaSalle Thompson, their biggest and best rebounder, out to meet the ball, which gives you a little bit better chance to get on the offensive board, especially when you got guys like U.S. Reed, Walker, and Hastings.
All right, we have a couple new forwards coming in for Arkansas. As you see, LaSalle Thompson at the line. He just missed you there a minute ago. (21-12). Texas. Mike Young, number 34 in the game for Arkansas. And Greg Stroman, number 43. And a foul. That's a foul on Freddie Carson. We got U.S. Reed.
Abe can't be too upset. This Texas team is playing very, very well. A 9-point lead, 8 minutes, 35 seconds to go. That's as good a start as he could have hoped for.
Reed misses.
Whoa.
And a vicious rebound by LaSalle Thompson. Pure and simple. Arkansas is not hitting their outside shots, so the zone is working. Almost tipped in by Thompson. He's really battling on the boards this time, and he gets a foul for his battle now. LaSalle Thompson drew a foul. He is really intense tonight.
After the game, will you tell LaSalle Thompson, I'm sorry? I think he heard what I said about the tuxedo because he's been ripping him off. Let's watch him get this foul here. It looks a little bit like jackpot bowling. Look at him go in there. Boom. He's mad. He doesn't want to be called a softie.
And I don't want to be around when he comes over to talk to you as well. 21-12. Texas on top of Arkansas. Young, by the way, is a good outside shooter. That's probably why he's in there. Walker. He didn't even hit the rim at the side of the board and went out of bounds. Last touch by Arkansas.
Again, the fact that Arkansas is not scoring. Only 12 points in about 12 minutes. They haven't been able to set up their press.
And the press almost paid off, but they said Darrell Walker went out of bounds with it. So Texas gets it back. So the press has not hurt Texas yet. And now a timeout has been called again here in Fayetteville with 7:52 remaining in the half. We'll have more prime time college basketball from Fayetteville, Arkansas after these messages.
NBC proudly presents putting on a whole new face, dressing up with lots of style, putting on a special look, breaking out a great big smile. Gonna spread our wings and reach right up to the stars. No one is prouder than we are. Add a touch of mystery. Take a look at all that's new. Taste the.
I tell you what, he's a folk hero, and I tell you what, I think the game tonight, our crowd will be lively, enthusiastic, but I hope that they'll be kind to Abe and the Longhorns.
Eddie Sutton talking about Abe Lemons. They've had their battles a couple of years ago in Austin. As we look at the turnovers, even Abe got mad because Eddie was talking to one of his players and said he was going to rip off his Sunday suit the next time he did that. Big edge for Texas in rebounds. Big edge. And they're playing with poise against the press. And they get it to the front court again.
They're attacking it. They're throwing the long pass. They're not fooling with putting it on the floor and fighting through that quickness. And it's been very interesting and very successful so far.
Now it looks like they're trying to trap defensively whenever they can get them over on the side. There's a quick pass, and U.S. Reed read it. U.S. Reed saw that all the way. Here comes U.S. Reed, a native of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He's a senior. Eddie Sutton thinks he's one of the greatest jumpers he's ever seen. Remember, he had Sidney Moncrief on this team that almost hit his head a few times in the lights. But he loves U.S. Reed, and this kid has really come a long way. He's improved every year. Young. All right, we told you Mike Young can shoot it from the outside. According to the records, he might be their best perimeter shooter. He's in there because they've got to hit the outside shot over the zone, and he just did. Wacker. Wacker with beautiful touch. And Wacker, a junior from San Marcos, Texas, makes it 23-14. There's Young again. There he goes. There he goes.
Good substitution by Eddie Sutton. He put Young, the good shooter, on LaSalle Thompson's side, but there haven't been many rebounds. Arkansas wants to get that press set up, and they got to score to do it or get a violation.
You know where the good shooters are from, right? Where do you think he's from? Indiana. Wolf Lake, Indiana. (23-16). Texas surprisingly on top of Arkansas by 7 here in Fayetteville with 6 minutes to play in the first half. LaSalle Thompson back to Carson. Boy, Texas really patient, aren't they?
They're smart. They're not getting into any track meet here. Everything they've done by hitting their shots, managing to keep Arkansas from getting those field goals. The whole thing has been a tranquilizer. Arkansas and the crowd came out super fired up. Texas didn't give them anything to play off of.
Nice pass and a great block by Reed. Reed stuffed Carson. All right, let's see what Carson does. Gets it off to Johnson, and they'll hold it up. And now Johnson goes. And a foul has been called on LaSalle Thompson underneath. LaSalle fouling Scullman. That's 2 on LaSalle. LaSalle Thompson, a sophomore, Cincinnati, Ohio. He was all everything there. Ricky Norton, a freshman, is in the game. There he goes. And a rebound almost pulled. Yeah, it is pulled off by LaSalle. He really wanted that ball.
Do not make the big fellow mad, and he was mad with that last call. He was a little upset that Johnson threw an air ball, too. He didn't get much of a chance to rebound it.
Carson got away from the trap.
Texas holds the edge in the series, but Eddie Sutton and the Razorbacks have won the last 5.
Carson missed it. And Young for the rebound. Texas by 7. Arkansas with the basketball with a rookie freshman, Norton. Eddie Sutton feels Norton probably is his best shooter from the key area, from the top of the key. That's the shot he just missed a moment ago. U.S. Reed, that's where he likes it.
The 36-inch vertical jump he always had, but that shooting touch is really starting to come. He should be a fine professional.
Well, now this place is going bananas. Abe Lemons calls timeout with a score. Arkansas 23 and Texas 18. Let's pause for these messages. Abe Lemons talking about this man, his big man, LaSalle Thompson.
He's playing quite well right now, but we got some freshmen trying to throw him the ball, and he's trying to run the show by himself. You know, when you're a pivot man, you have to wait for somebody to give you the ball. And to try to get the basketball to him, we don't get it to him as much as we should, but he's going to be a super player, and he is a good player. He's got good statistics, 20 points a ball game, 13 rebounds or thereabouts, and I'm real pleased with LaSalle Thompson.
So far, 7 points and 4 rebounds. And I'll tell you what, he doesn't wait for the guards all the time. Sometimes he just goes up there and gets it off the top of the square. He's more aggressive than I expected him to be, especially by that free throw statistic that we mentioned earlier.
All right, the press now against Texas. They've handled it so far. They handle it again. Good cross court. Carson fakes his shot, lobs it in for LaSalle. LaSalle blocked by Hastings. Now to Johnson. Oh, great shot. That's a great shot by Ray Harper.
The Kentucky rifle got that one off in traffic. I thought he was going to have Spalding stamped on his head. Boy.
Texas by 7. And all of a sudden, every time Young gets the ball, they find him. There he goes again. Young's hit 3 in a row. And it's 25-20. Texas by 5. And they get it to Johnson and now to Carson.
We may see a change.
Great pass to Wacker. He missed it. And a foul on Wacker. That was a great pass to Wacker.
Carson put it right on the money, and Wacker, showing that he's a freshman. We're going to have a chance to see it. No pressure on the ball. Had all the time in the world. Slid it right across the top. Wacker by himself. Instead of coming down and going back up, just tried to put it in soft. He was short, got a little frustrated, and reached for it.
25-20. Can you believe that? They've lost 5 games here. And they finally missed one. But Walker back in the game. Got it. Was fouled by LaSalle Thompson. That's 3 on LaSalle Thompson. That's a big foul. Darrell Walker just back in the game. Watch it.
Again, Young short on this one. Right off the iron. Boy, that came off hard. Walker double clutches. Goes up. Makes LaSalle Thompson commit. And that's a foul Abe Lemons would just as soon be without. There is no other proven big man in the Texas lineup or on that bench. And he's going to stay with him with 3. Now, Abe's getting up rather slowly now. Walker really drew that foul.
Darrell Walker makes it 25-21. He's cut the Texas lead to 4. Bushrod comes in, number 24, replacing LaSalle Thompson. Bushrod is a transfer from Henderson Community College. He's 6'7", 210-pounder out of Chicago. He's supposed to be a good rebounder.
And I'll tell you, one thing it will do, I'm sure Abe would rather have LaSalle Thompson in there, but Bushrod will give him a little more speed in the corner, getting out to Young.
And now, on the missed shot, a foul on Bushrod. Bushrod, who just came in the game, draws the foul. Now the referee pointed at Bushrod, and now let's see if he we almost had him walking the other way.
What was the call? That's Abe Lemons. I don't want to read his lips.
And Eddie Sutton. Eddie agrees with it because they're staying down the right. They called a foul on Bushrod, and then the freshman, Ray Harper of Texas, convinced the referee to walk to the other foul line. He got about halfway there to confuse the entire building, and they finally got back to the right foul line. All right, now we have Peterson at the foul line, 1-1. And it's a 25-22 game. Texas's lead is shrunk from 9 to 3 with 2:59 to play in the first half.
Sutton's going with Peterson himself has 3. A little strange.
Yep. 1 out of 2 again. Wacker pulled off the rebound.
Look at Walker. He stalks you. He's down there. You throw a soft pass, it's gone. Forget it.
U.S. Reed is playing Johnson. They get the ball to him. They collapse on him. Here comes Harper. He missed his shot.
Boy, they want to run. Texas beginning to cool in their field goal shooting, giving Arkansas more chances to get it up the floor.
Got U.S. Reed roaming around. They like to get it to him down low because he can jump so well. He's tough on the inside. Hastings from the outside. And a rebound. Aimed to Mr. Carson. Knocked away from behind by Walker. Walker knocked it away from behind. They're going after each other for so long. There's a long jumper by Peterson, rebounded by Johnson. Looks for the break, doesn't have it, and now gets it to Carson.
Walker just hates to give up the press, even if he's the only one pressing.
The one-man press.
He leads the team steals, assists, and rejects, and he's only 6'4".
Rejected. Henry Johnson had it rejected with 1:27 to play in the half. Texas by 3.
Texas gone 3 minutes without a point. We thought Arkansas was the team that would score in spurts. Texas gone a little cold, but they still have their poise.
Bushrod back to Harper, now to Carson. They may sit on the ball for a while here. They got a 3-point lead, 1:07. Why not?
LaSalle Thompson on the bench in foul trouble.
Sure.
Good move to eat a little clock. Plus, this crowd wants him to go.
Not only that, but Arkansas is getting back in the game. They feel a hot streak coming now. Why not keep the ball away from them? Nice move. Oh, great move. Great poise by that freshman. And it's now 27-22. Freddie Carson. Check it, that was Ray Harper from Bremen, Kentucky.
Harper's gone down in there twice now. He had the reputation of being just an outside shooter, but he's been impressive down there in the lane.
28 seconds. Texas surprisingly by 5. You know, in high school in Bremen, Kentucky, Ray Harper scored over 3,000 points. All-time record for the city and for the county. Tremendous score. And he handles the ball so beautifully.
He had 19 at Southern Cal, too, so he's part of this future. Remember now, no seniors on this club.
5 seconds. There goes U.S. Reed. And that's it. That's the end of a surprising first half, because the Texas Longhorns coming in there with a mark of 5-7 to take on Eddie Sutton's Arkansas Razorbacks 11-3, a big underdog. They've got the 5-point lead at halftime, and Abe Lemons has to be a happy man, even if he doesn't like Fayetteville. That's the end of the first.
They want to see Arkansas run, and with the alternating possessions after the first tip, Arkansas will put it in play.
Fucking interesting, because Arkansas being out-rebounded 17-13 over the season, over the first 14 games, they've out-rebounded the opposition by more than 8 rebounds a game, and now they're down by 4 rebounds, and they're also down the score by 5 points. All right, inside, Peterson. See, I think that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to get inside that zone. They've got to. They can't keep shooting outside jumpers. They've got to find the holes, as Eddie Sutton said. They found one there with Peterson, 27-24. Let's see now if Texas can continue to handle this pressure.
Young for Fress, as we anticipated, trying to stay with the hot hand.
All right, we pause now for station identification. This is the Madison Square Garden Television Network.
This is KTVB TV 36 in Austin.
Inside to Johnson. Couldn't get it down. Boy, LaSalle Thompson came very close to getting his 4th foul there. Very close. Trying to tip the ball with bad position, and the ball went out of bounds, awarded to Texas.
Early part of this half, very important to both teams. Texas has to be sure that all that adrenaline that's pent up right now doesn't come out in a lot of fast breaks. And certainly Arkansas doesn't want to be tranquilized again into another 25-point half.
It is Harper, youngster from Kentucky. Got a whacker and knocked away. Harper's going to allow it to go out of bounds. Will be Texas ball.
Smart play.
Harper and Carson on the back line. They have Wacker, LaSalle Thompson, and Johnson up front. And a foul. It's called against Texas. It's called against Ray Harper.
And that's his 3rd, and Lemons is hot. Let's take a look at it.
It's off the ball here. I don't know if we can pick it up.
Are his feet planted?
Yep.
Looked to me like he had it. He could have been eating a ham sandwich. He was there so long. Questionable call. 3rd foul on Harper, and Harper's been key to handling this pressure.
Hastings, Texas now down by only 3.
Arkansas went the last 3 minutes of the first half without scoring.
Peterson, and it's kicked away. That zone defense still tough. And Abe plays an interesting zone too, doesn't he? No one's really been able to figure it out.
Well, he plays a lot of matchup, and he said when he first went to Texas, he had to explain his matchup zone was not a singles bar, which is vintage Abe Lemons. But it's a flex kind of a thing. He matches up, he tries to bend and not break, and it really is frustrating. You have to shoot from outside.
All right, you saw the missed shot by Hastings. Peterson trying to follow has drawn the foul. Let's watch it.
Arkansas penetrating in very deep. Hastings going right down inside. The matchup zone there was very porous.
All right, Scullman came in the game for Peterson. Peterson is a leading rebounder. Eddie Sutton pulls him.
With 4 personal fouls, Jim. That's key. He went with him a long time in the first half with 3.
Harper to Carson, and now they swing it to Johnson. Texas by 3. 18 minutes to play in regulation.
Patient. Texas very patient. Arkansas frustrated right now. They can't get the express going.
And a foul called on Young.
Young is a good shooter, but he is really not capable of staying with Harper. And that could have been Harper's 4th had that call gone the other way. No question. No question there. Young was moving his feet.
Lob it into Johnson, and he shot it over Hastings. Got him down low. Good pass, and he got it up off the glass. It was 29-24, Texas by 5.
It's easy to say, we'll go after Harper and Thompson and get that 4th foul on him quick. But in that matchup zone, it's very difficult to isolate. In fact, it's near impossible.
Scullman saved it, and Johnson saved it back, and Walker tipped it.
That's not what you call smooth, but it gave this crowd a thrill.
Hastings to the outside. He can hit that perimeter shot. And it's 29-26. Arkansas down by 3. 16:53 to play in the game. Prime time college basketball. And next Monday night, we'll be at the Golden Dome. Notre Dame, Indiana. Walker from the outside. It's Notre Dame and Fordham. Notre Dame, one of the top clubs in the country. They were beaten on a last-second shot by Marquette. What a game that was. And Fordham off to their best starts in 74-75, Bucky.
Yeah, they're 8-3 now, and they've got 2 this week that they could win and come into South Bend 10-3.
U.S. Reed, that baseline jumper, he's deadly on that. Eddie Sutton says that's about a 30% shot, except when Reed takes it, it's a lot more than that. And it's 31-28. Texas by 3 over Arkansas.
LaSalle Thompson hasn't handled it much. There it goes to him.
Soft jumper. Oh, that looked like goaltending.
Yeah, good call. The back official called it, though. Very interesting.
That was.
The middle official whose call it was got lockjaw. LaSalle Thompson, we won't see it from this angle. Ball fake. Hastings not going to draw the foul. Nice release by the big fella.
That's coming
and there's
down.
Walker, who leads in rejects, showing he can get up there with it.
Got the basket for LaSalle Thompson. Eddie Sutton talks it over with a score now. Texas 33 and Arkansas 28. We'll have more prime time college basketball after these messages.
We're proud. Say it again.
But that's what some people were saying about tonight, right? Well, here we are with 15:55 to play in the game, and it's 33-28 Texas, a team that wasn't supposed to win. We've had nothing but tight games. Kentucky, Indiana. There's U.S. Reed. Bullseye! And a foul underneath. The basket counts. Wacker got called for a foul, trying to get position on the board.
This crowd needs a little hype. Hastings to U.S. Reed. Lets the jumper go. There's Wacker, number 44. Yeah, he's doing more than boxing out. He tried to nail him up against the pole. It was a good call.
All right, now Texas down by only 3. Hastings from the corner. And it belongs to Texas. Well, I'll tell you, that Darrell Walker can really jump. He's in with the big guys, and he's usually above them.
Here, Arkansas has a chance to set up the press against the inbounds, but they elect not to. That's a surprise. You know,
how many teams in the country, Bucky, can say that their 2 guards lead the team in rejects?
right? They're incredible athletes. But, you know, Hastings, we talk about this matchup defense of Texas. Hastings has 1 basket in 6 attempts, and it took him like 16 minutes to get that.
Yeah.
Very tough on the inside players.
All right, here's Carson with it. 33-30 Texas in the brown uniforms. Arkansas in white. If you're just tuning in, you missed a heck of a game. Texas right now upsetting Arkansas. 33-30, 15 minutes to play in the game. Here comes Carson, and the ball loose, out of bounds, and it belongs to Texas.
It looked like a trip somewhere in there. Carson's certainly not that clumsy. Carson saw daylight here. Going down inside. Oh, definitely was a trip. Accidental trip, but nevertheless a trip. Greg Scullman got just a piece of him.
Yeah, it looked like Scullman got him. Carson, Darrell Walker fouled him from behind. Walker got him from behind. That's the first one on Darrell Walker.
Yeah, but he's starting to get antsy. One of the things Arkansas has to be concerned with now, they've been totally frustrated all night that they haven't made the steals, and and have done all the things that ran them to 40-18 at the half against TCU. It's their style. But you have to give Texas credit. You have to keep working at it. And somewhere in here, I look for an Arkansas spurt that'll get their adrenaline going and get this crowd back in the game.
Well, Arkansas has been there. And there's a U.S. Reed foul. And that's an obvious foul. Reed just planted a hand on Harper's wrist. Watch it here.
It may be that this frustration that we're talking about, there's still almost 15 minutes to go. They want to steal now. And, hey, those two little guys, Carson and Harper from Texas, have handled the pressure so far. They'll just have to wear them down. That's been a strength of Arkansas, playing 9 and 10 players, and they do wear you down. Carson and Harper have gone all the way.
Ray Harper, the freshman out of Bremen, Kentucky, on the move. What a shot. Little half hook on the run by that freshman, and it's 35-30. Texas by 5 again. That was their halftime lead with 14:22 to play in the game. U.S. Reed, a fake, a shot. Spellman battling for it. LaSalle Thompson finally gets it. And the release to Carson against Briggs. And he beat Press on the drive with the left hand, and now it's Texas by 7.
A sneaky break. Arkansas thinking about where they're going to pick up and press, and that time they were beaten down the floor.
Hastings hits the 15-footer, and it brings Arkansas within 5. 37-32, Texas.
Yeah, but it's heating up. They're trading baskets now, and Arkansas's got to like that.
Look at Harper. Look at Harper. And it's now a 7-point lead for Texas. He's not playing like a freshman. He's playing like a senior.
He reminds me of Krivacs, the other guard that played when Texas won the NIT in 1978. In fact, he was co-MVP. Deceptive, but deadly. Deadly shooter. Harper 5 for 6 tonight for 10 points. Somehow it seems like more than that.
Yep. Spellman. Press. Hastings again. Beautiful. Hastings got his touchdown. He's hit 3 of those here in the second half. And it's 39-34, Texas by 5, or down by 5.
Wacker, the 6'8 freshman, has been playing at the top of that 3-2 matchup, and he's been laying back in, which is one of the reasons that Hastings hasn't done much. Hastings now at the top of the key, finding the range.
Look at that pass. Look at that pass by Harper into Johnson. What a pass. Tremendous pass.
Eddie Sutton not very happy. Inside, outside. Little bounce pass right into Johnson. Johnson knows what to do with it. Sticks it right up Hastings' nose. And I'll tell you, so far, Texas has not been intimidated. Not with speed, not with great defense, and certainly this crowd. As famous as it is, and this is indeed one of the famous pits, so far Texas has taken them right out of it.
Abe Lemon's club is up by 7. He was fouled, and after the timeout, we're going to have a foul shot with a score now. Texas 41 and Arkansas 34. Let's pause for these messages. Okay, Johnson now trying to complete a 3-point play. Henry Johnson, a 6'6 junior from Los Angeles, California. He got it. It's Texas by 8 now. They led by 9 in the first half. They led by 5 at the half. They're on their feet. They come on their feet every time Arkansas comes up the floor. You almost don't need any seats in this place. They're usually on their feet for everything. U.S. Reed, and now here's Darrell Walker. That's Reed's spot over there. I thought he had the shot before. Tony Brown in the game now, number 40. Walker, he's thinking about it. He's taking it. And there's the rebound by Johnson. What a game he's played.
Hastings at the top of the key now, offensively for Arkansas, getting a little more attention from Wacker.
LaSalle missed it. Anyone's ball. How about Scullman hit it? And they're going to give the ball to Arkansas. All right.
I agree with you. However,
they quit refereeing and do a little game here.
And they've done a good job. This is a tough place to work.
Surprised me, Bucky. When they came out, they got the ball inside the Peterson at the start of the second half. It looked like they were going to try to penetrate that zone. But now they're back trying to shoot over it. And there goes Reed. And Wacker with a rebound. They can't hit the outside shot.
And because they're not hitting, they can't apply the pressure. You know, Texas has a player by the name of Ken Montgomery who scored 34 so far this year, and he has not played.
What a move by Carson. Excuse me, Bucky. Carson and Ray Harper have played the game of their lives. It's now a 10-point lead, the biggest lead for Texas, and Eddie Sutton wants to call timeout right now. He's got 11:23 to play in the game. He's down by 10 here at Barnhill Arena in Fayetteville. And look at the confidence with which the backcourt is playing with Texas. Look at Carson.
Carson, the sophomore, behind the back on U.S. Reed. Are you kidding me? And not only that, he takes him down 8 feet from the basket and doesn't even throw a fake and goes over Reed. I mean, they got delusions of grandeur.
That's a good picture there, and that's the combination that's doing it. It's Harper and Carson, and Eddie Sutton is a troubled man right now. He's got to figure it out. He's got to figure this out because Texas has got a pretty good leg up here. Even though we have 11:23 to play in this game, Texas has not shown any signs of crumbling. All right, let's see what Eddie Sutton has to say about his team.
I like this basketball team. We have great quickness. They play solid defense. We're a good rebounding basketball team. We're maturing as far as offensive discipline. We're getting better as far as shot selection. We're shooting over 53% from the field. And the team plays with a lot of intensity. And at times when we're playing well, they're a lot of fun to watch play.
All right, Eddie Sutton. I want to thank our technical crew here, CVP Productions from Louisville. They always do an outstanding job, and they're doing it again tonight for us. Charlie Stopak, our director, John Kashuris in the truck, and Paul Carlson with us at the table. They all do their job here. We want to thank them for all the work they do behind the scenes. All right, back to the basketball game. We have a freshman in now. That's Ricky Norton, 14. He's going to be the point guard.
Long time.
Taking Darrell Walker out of the game.
Excuse me, Jim. Long time to go. A little over 11 minutes. Arkansas, however, has used 3 of their 5 timeouts. Only 2 remaining.
Now he's missing the baseline shot, but what a rebound by Scullman. Scullman wanted that basketball. He really went in and powered it back up.
That's key with Peterson's foul problems. He's had 4 since early in the second half. They need some of that muscle on the board. They're not hitting the first shot, and they haven't been getting the second shot.
10:45 to play in the game. A lot of time to go. Texas by 8. It's hard to believe Texas has lost 3 games in the Southwest Conference the way they're playing tonight. All right. What happened there was Johnson was in the corner, then he broke for the basket, and Harper threw it behind him. So a mistake, a turnover, and this crowd is ready to have Arkansas cut it to 6. Down by 8 with 10:27.
Any sort of a run by Arkansas, you better believe Texas is going to call a quick timeout. They don't want to let it get away from them.
Now Walker's in the game playing it forward. And Norton, we told you before, he's their most effective shooter from the top of the key straight away. That's his shot. And he just hit it. And it's a 6-point game.
And here comes the press.
A couple of freshmen going after each other. Norton on Harper. He gets to the front court. They're challenging him now. They're setting up a double pick on the left side. Let's see if they bring somebody around on that pick. No.
LaSalle Thompson hasn't handled it hardly at all in the second half.
He really hasn't. 9:32 to play in the game.
Walker stole that ball. He hit it right free and hit it right to Carson.
LaSalle. Shot. Bullseye! LaSalle Thompson, a big hoop. And that quiets the crowd momentarily. But only momentarily. Here they are again. 46-38. Texas refusing to fold. They're up by 8. Hastings. And a foul by Carson. Carson got him as he slipped by.
An expensive 4th foul. Now both Harper and Carson have 4. Hastings making the move up the middle. The little man, instead of sliding over there and sealing the hole off with his body, allowed Hastings to get part way through and reach with his hand. So now both guards for Texas with 4, Jim.
All right, Hastings now. They got him in the act of shooting.
Ooh, that's stretching continuation a bit.
Looks like a pro call. 46-39. Arkansas down by 7 and now by 6. And the Razorbacks stay tough. Down by half a dozen with 9:05. Into Wacker. Here comes pressure. LaSalle. They got 10 seconds to get it across the line. They will. And Texas handles it again.
1-2-2 full court zone trap. Texas is either going right to the basket and attacked it, or they've gotten it over and going into this tempo.
What a block. Darrell Walker blocked it. Darrell Walker rejected the Johnson shot. Johnson talking to the official. He wanted goaltending.
Good call. Got it on the way up.
I agree. It was a good call. Boy, that Walker can jump. Great timing. No wonder he leads his club in rejects. Here's Harper. Knocked away from behind. It'll be Texas ball with 8:32 to play in the game. Eddie Sutton in the game. With that little red rose in his lapel. Some florist here in Fayetteville sent it to him a couple of years ago, and now he sends it to him before every game. And now a foul called on Norton. Norton tried to intercept the pass from Wacker and ran right over Ray Harper. Harper is only 5'11". I don't think he saw him.
All right, and very key stats here. We had an error in our tabulations. Harper has 1 foul. Carson has 3. So that changes the complexion entirely. You've got 2 guards out there with 4 fouls. You know, getting pressure and the concern for a charge. You've got very gentle people out there, and you've got attack pressure.
Harper against Norton. I can't believe the poise with which Texas is playing.
Yeah, but they have to be careful that they don't cut their offense off too soon.
Johnson, short jumper, he got it. They got to be the best 5 and 7 club in the nation. It's 48-40. Texas again by 8. Arkansas's lost 3 games, but there's some pretty good clubs. They've lost to Michigan, they lost to North Carolina, and they lost to Kansas State in overtime. They've won 11. Skolman. Norton, U.S. Reed. Norton. Reed. There goes Norton. Hastings got a big rebound. Big rebound by Hastings, and off the glass and home, and it's a 6-point lead again. And Texas breaks the pressure.
7 minutes, 10 seconds, 6 points.
Wacker, great fake. Oh, what a fake on Skolman. What a fake and a basket by the junior. Mike Wacker from San Marcos, Texas. His father is the football coach at Southwest Texas State. Reed. U.S. Reed, the brilliant senior guard, keeps Arkansas in the game. They're down by half a dozen with 6:39 to play in the game. And a timeout called by Texas with 6:34 to play in the game, and Texas by 6. And we'll have more prime-time college basketball from Fayetteville, Arkansas, after these messages. What he thought about this Arkansas team?
Well, I think every conference needs someone to shoot at, and Arkansas wants to be shot at. And I don't think it's anything vicious. Eddie and I get along fine, and get along with the fans a little better than most people think.
He's incredible.
Abe, several years ago, they got in a little discussion with some contact in Austin, and Abe threatened to tear a Sunday suit off of Eddie Sutton. I don't think anybody paid to see that. I don't care how starved we are for top fight attractions.
Well, Abe was mad because he said Eddie was talking to one of his players during a game in Austin a couple of years ago, and he didn't want him talking to his players, and he told him so in no uncertain terms. I think that was pretty direct what he said. Tear your Sunday suit off.
Abe has a way of making his point, and sometimes you smile and you walk away and you look down and you need a tourniquet.
It's great basketball, man. I think he's 7th on the all-time list for coaches and wins. All right, here's Harper, the freshman. By the way, Wacker, who made that last hoop, I think I told you he was a junior. He's only a freshman. He's only a freshman. Tremendous freshman. And the foul on U.S. Reed reaching in. And another freshman. All right, let's watch this replay.
A clear floor. Harper working on U.S. Reed. I'm sorry. He's not working on Reed. He's working on Ricky Norton, freshman on freshman. He made the turn on Norton. U.S. Reed coming across to help. What they're doing, and they're stacking. Texas is stacking 4 men on one side of the floor, and they're putting their best ball handlers and free throw shooters on the other side of the floor.
All right, now, Harper in high school was a 93% foul shooter. You saw he's up on the board as a 70% shooter. He hasn't had that many in college. All right, Norton leaves the game. Here's Ray Harper with 11 points, and this freshman has stood out tonight.
It looks like Texas is going to try to put it on ice a little bit. They've gone from their regular man-for-man offense. They've gone very much to a ball control situation.
And Abe hasn't gone to his bench much at all. I mean, he's kept these guys for the most part in the game. You wonder whether they're getting tired or not. Or maybe the adrenaline is flowing with a chance to beat Arkansas in Fayetteville. We'll see. 5.5 minutes. Peterson was thinking about the shot. And now, I believe we have a 3-second violation in the lane.
Arkansas working so hard to get the ball and then have a turnover like that. That's got to be frustrating for the Razorbacks. Here they are, 2-2-1, full court zone press.
That little guy's had everything to do with beating this press. I'll tell you, Harper. I mean, they trapped him. He's made the passes to the front court. He's gotten away from pressure, and he's hit hoops. I mean, he's got 12 points as well. You can't do much more than Harper's done tonight. Or that guy, Carson.
Yeah, but Carson's a 54% free throw shooter. It won't be too long down the line when I think Eddie Sutton's going to take a chance on Carson's ability to hit it under pressure.
Carson, well, they're looking for the shot, too. They're not just trying to eat the game up. I mean, they're working the ball and looking for a good shot, but they're willing to take it. They continue to play their game. Now they get a charge against Carson, and that's going to be his 4th foul. That's a big call. That's a big call with 4:54.
Mike Young here. I can't believe Carson hit him this hard. Oh, and the nominees are, huh?
Well, I'll tell you, though, he kind of threw the arm out at him. Yeah. He kind of threw his elbow out at him and knocked him away.
A smart foul.
I mean, there's a little Academy Award stunt done there as well, but I did think he knocked him away. 4:49 to play in the game. Eddie Sutton gets a timeout. Timeout with a score. The Longhorns of Texas 52. The Razorbacks of Arkansas 44. Let's pause for these messages.
I aimed it and let it go. I still don't know how it got in there.
Cannot believe it. It is Darrell Walker. And U.S. Reed goes. Hastings, he's off that board again. He's done it again. That's the 2nd time Arkansas has missed a big shot, and Hastings has gotten the ball and knocked it back in. And he was fouled, and they're loving it here.
Arkansas putting it up quickly. Look at the battle under the boards. Hastings goes up over Wacker. The freshman left his feet. That was the cardinal sin. At this point, you're almost better off if you can keep a presence of mind, not to go for the reject and gamble on a 3-point opportunity. But Scott Hastings, a unanimous All-Southwestern Conference performer last year, averaging 16 points a game, scores inside and out, and you don't hear much about this guy, Jim Carvelis. He's a fine basketball player.
Yes, he is. Johnson drew the foul, by the way, and now that 3-point play makes it a 5-point game, and now it's anyone's game again. And a foul, it's Tony Brown getting the freshman in the back court. That's Ray Harper.
The double team this time wasn't quite tight enough. And deceptive Harper, the freshman from Kentucky, they didn't get those feet together. Harper was able to wiggle out toward the sideline. But again, Arkansas coming with fresh troops. We're seeing people like Brown. Here comes Young back in. If the full bench of Eddie Sutton and the fact that he's been rotating his people is going to pay off, it's going to pay off right now.
All right, Mike Young, the 6'4" senior from Wolf Lake, Indiana, back in for Tony Brown. And now the pressure on Harper. Ray Harper's hit 2 from the line tonight. We told you he was a great foul shooter. What a game this youngster's playing. 53 to 47. I know that's redundant. I don't think you can say it enough. To come into this pit and play against this team as a freshman, to have to beat the pressure and do the things he's done is just incredible to me. And it's a 7-point lead for Texas. And Arkansas with 4.5 minutes trying to fight back. Young from the outside. Bullseye!
He's attacking LaSalle Thompson's side because the big fella's not coming out. He's conceding the shot.
I thought the pressure was going to take it away from him that time, but LaSalle Thompson got it back to Johnson, and here's Harper with the ball.
As effective as they've been against the press, they passed that ball like a loaf of bread. I can't believe it.
Good point, Bucky. And the foul is going to be called against Peterson. Peterson whacked Wacker, and that's 5 on Peterson. He's out of the game. Their leading rebounder is out.
He really never got untracked. Another fine lob pass underneath. Wacker making the move to the basket. Yeah, Peterson had that left hand on him. Wacker really an impressive freshman. He's going to be a good one.
And Bucky, the point I made, I think, was shown there. Texas isn't just trying to sit on the ball for the rest of the game. They're being very careful, but they are still playing basketball. They're still looking for their shots.
Yeah, a couple of times there in that one stretch, they went to the clear floor and just let their good ball handler handle it. But they have gone back. They're very patient. They are looking to score, which I think is smart. 4 minutes and 2 seconds is a long time to ice it.
All right, Wacker missed the first. He gets 2. And this freshman out of San Marcos, Texas, averaging 7-3 a game, has had 10 points. And this place is bananas. It's bananas. Bottom of the net. That stops it. And it's now Arkansas down by 6 to Texas. Look for U.S. Reed. He usually makes the big shots. He's made some of the biggest plays in the history of this school. Young missed it. Walker. Darrell Walker. Another big offensive board. Another big board, and now it's a 4-point game. Harper. To LaSalle Thompson. They did it again.
I'll tell you what, they're like young deers on ice. I mean, they're flopping around, and they don't look like they know where they're going, and they find an open man right at the last second.
Carson, and they got the pass to LaSalle, and he was fouled. And a great pass by Carson. They are so cool.
They're cool. I'll tell you, it's scary. If I was coaching this crew, I think I'd have a coronary. But there's a good pass, and LaSalle Thompson, who hasn't touched it for a long time, should have had that play. He took it up strong, but not strong enough.
All right, 3 fouls on Scott Hastings, and now LaSalle Thompson at the line. Earlier in the game, he missed his first 2 from the line.
He's 1 for 5.
Now.
2 for 6.
I tell you, they're also hitting big foul shots, aren't they? Texas, 56-51. LaSalle Thompson.
Going back to priorities, I think we can look for Arkansas to grab Carson later on. He's only 6 for 11 on the season.
LaSalle hits 2 pressure foul shots, and it's a 6-point lead for the Texas Longhorns. Time remaining, 3:05 in the game. Arkansas needs a big shot. They get it. Young, no conscience, boy. He just lets it fly.
Well, the way he's been playing, incredible off the bench. Without him, Arkansas is not in this game.
Again, and Hastings fouled. Foul LaSalle Thompson. That's 4 on Hastings. 4 on Hastings.
Young 5 for 7 off the bench. Here we get a chance to see it again. Harper going with the long one. A contested ball. Again, that soft pass hanging up there. Too much temptation for Hastings. He had to go after it.
Right at the line, LaSalle Thompson. That's a big miss. Now it's Arkansas. Down by 4. A chance to cut it to 2 or maybe 1.
That's a shot.
Reed, they want that one. Big rebound by LaSalle Thompson. Big rebound, and that's US's shot from that baseline. Harper against Young. 2:15 to play in the game. Prime-time college basketball. We've had nothing but great games the first 3 weeks. Kentucky, Indiana down the wire. Michigan, Purdue down the wire. Texas and Arkansas down to the wire. Next week we have Fordham and Notre Dame. Be with us next Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 1:51 to play in the game. Got DePaul coming up for you. Marquette, Louisville, a foul. Another Arkansas foul. And that's going to be called on Darrell Walker. We'd like to thank the athletic staffs of these two fine universities for their help in the telecast of tonight's game. From the University of Texas, Athletic Director Bill Ellington, Head Basketball Coach Abe Lemons, and Sports Information Director Doug Smith. And from the University of Arkansas, Athletic Director Frank Broyles, Head Basketball Coach Eddie Sutton, and Sports Information Director Rick Schaefer. I want to thank all those people for providing us with all the help we needed to bring this telecast to you. All right, Eddie Sutton, who has lost only 3 Southwest Conference games in this arena, 3 of them, and 1 of them was to Texas. They also lost 1 to Baylor here. And there's Abe Lemons trying to do something that not many people can do, and that's win a game here. They've only lost 5 here overall, 3 in the Southwest Conference.
You think if he wins here tonight, he'll take back all the bad things he said about Fayetteville, Arkansas? No chance.
You'll love Fayetteville.
He called that timeout. Abe now is holding 2. Eddie Sutton has 1 timeout remaining. 1:47 seconds. Lots of time.
And now the big foul shots. Again.
Harper 4 for 4 for the evening. As we pointed out, a 77% free throw shooter coming into this game. Good man to have on the line.
As we pointed out earlier, in high school, a 93% shooter. Well, he was in high school last year. Let's see how he takes the pressure. A freshman, huh?
Scary, isn't it, huh? Youth has no fear.
Games like this turn freshmen into juniors and seniors.
And coaches into old people.
Right. Harper's 2. 59-53. 1:40 to play in the game. 6-point lead. Arkansas can't afford to miss now or make a mistake. Is he incredible? Young again. Young's kept him in the game. It's a 4-point lead with 1:28. They finally threw it away. They finally threw it away. With 1:24, and Arkansas is back with a chance. They're back with a chance. And look for everyone to be looking for Mike Young. He's the hot hand.
Part of the matchup now is that Harper is cheating. Cheating so that he can cover Young, and they can keep LaSalle Thompson underneath.
Reed.
Young should
that
be
was
shooting.
In and out. That was a big shot.
Young should be shooting that ball. He's the man with the hot hand.
Right, and the matchup was with Harper as well. Steal! What a play by Darrell Walker.
Texas needs a timeout.
It's a 2-point game with 55 seconds. A key play in this game. Texas with a 4-point lead in the ball. And Harper had it stolen. He could get 3 to 5 for that. He just picked his pocket and jammed it. It's a 2-point game, and this place is unbelievable. I mean, it is unbelievable.
Harper making his move. Taken clean. And there's no catching Walker. Say goodnight.
On their feet at Barnhill. Can you believe there's over 9,000 people here? And they are ready. They are ready. Well, you remember the top of our show? The last second shot. It was Carson that hit a jump shot to give Texas the lead with 9 seconds. And then it was U.S. Reed with no time remaining. He released it and hit the bottom of the net. And it was a 1-point win. Texas, Arkansas, always a shootout. Tonight, no exception. And you people around the country watching on Madison Square Garden have really been treated. Okay. 56 seconds. By a total of 8 points.
Arkansas are going to have to go after the steal, and then they'll go for a foul. Probably Carson, if they can get their hands on it.
All right, Walker, they're going to come trap. Tony Brown's coming over. That's a loose ball. Brown, tied it. They tied it. Hastings is hurt, by the way. Hastings is hurt. He's on the floor. You see him there, holding his hand. Hastings is hurt. The game is tied at 59. The pressure did not bother Texas until the last minute and a half of this game. And now it has really hurt them, as Arkansas's pressure has gotten them a tie. And Hastings, let's watch this.
Harper is a little guy, and he's being double teamed, and Texas is running away from the ball. There are Texas players, but they're down the floor. He put it up for grabs. Hastings, in his effort to cut that ball off, creates the loose ball, and that's in the man's hands. Walker down the floor, underneath. Tony Brown puts it in. We got a tie game. 39 seconds to go.
You made a great point, Bucky. Carson ran away from the ball. Nobody really came back to help him. He had to try to fire it to the front court. But he was double teamed back there. Brown came over and trapped and helped Walker, and he had no one to really go to. And I thought that Hastings jammed his hand by knocking the ball away.
Tony Brown off the bench hit his first bucket, and it tied it up.
Got a lot of young students at the game tonight.
Yeah, she's at least a graduate student.
It's incredible. There's Eddie Sutton trying to steal one here. Trying to steal one. 59-59, 39 seconds to play in the game. Arkansas was down by 6 with 1:39, and then the pressure paid off.
Let's see if they run away again. They got to have a post. Okay. Carson's the foul priority.
Walker got him. Carson did not run away. He was a stride behind the midcourt line. He was there. He showed himself, and he was fouled.
However, Carson is the high foul priority. Not a good free throw shooter. 6 for 11 on the year. He's the man that if you got to gamble to miss, he's the most likely. Carson pushing it up. He should be getting rid of that ball and back to Harper, who is the proven shooter.
All right, Tony Brown comes out of the ball game, and Mike Young comes back in, the great shooter. Eddie Sutton, the wheels turning, and they're turning in this man's head as well. A tie game with 33 seconds. What a foul shot. What a foul shot by Carson, the man who gave Texas a 1-point lead the last time they played here with 9 seconds to go last year. Under pressure, and he hit them both again. Pressure foul shots from Carson. Good percentages, right, Bucky?
Yeah, those are the first 2 he shot all night. This is Arkansas's last time out, but I would have to foul him again because both on the percentage, and I didn't like the rotation on the shot. He's not a good shooter, and that's why I'm a smart coach, because he just knocked 2 in the bottom, and you can't imagine much more pressure this early in the season.
All right, 61-59. The Longhorns over the Razorbacks with 28 seconds remaining in the game. Well, what do they do now, Coach?
Well,
do they go to Young? Do they go to U.S. Reed?
Well,
Reed has always hit the big shots for him.
I don't care. Young's got the hot hand, and I think that Arkansas will come up the floor quickly and put Young on this left side, on LaSalle Thompson's side, where they don't get quite the defensive flow. It will take him off that offensive board. I'd rather have Young shooting and Walker and Reed and Hastings on the board with a good chance for a second one. If they miss the shot, look for them to foul right away.
The executive producers of primetime college basketball are John Kouchouris and Leonard Klompas. Tonight's game has been produced and directed by Charles Stopak. Our associate producer is Paul Carlson.
I think another threat would be Hastings at the top of the key. But Young is the man that's been doing it.
He might have a jammed hand, though. Hastings hurt his hand. This is amazing how those things heal up in the pressure of a game.
With 28 seconds to go, there are no injuries, especially if you're down 2.
Walker now runs the show, number 20. I got a lot of guys that can win the game for them. They've always been a pressure team, Arkansas. Young in this matchup has Harper on him. They go inside to Skolman. He's fouled with 12 seconds. Skolman will go to the foul line for probably his 2 most important foul shots.
Skolman only shot 12 all year, and he's hit 8 of them. Isolated inside. Everybody looking for the shooters. They found Skolman. Ooh. They made sure there wasn't a 3-pointer.
Skolman is a 6'6 junior, 210-pounder from Ozark, Arkansas. Only averaging 2.6 a game. Reason for that is he hasn't played much this year. He's had a bad hand. You see that left wrist taped up. He's a hustler. He's a great defensive player. And right now he's being called on to be a good foul shooter. He's got 2 shots coming. Down by 2 with 12 seconds. Almost threw an air ball. Almost. He just got the tip of the rim. Almost threw an air ball. Now it's a 1-point game. 61-60. Last year it was 60-59 final here for Arkansas. And now a foul has been called. Foul call on Skolman with 10 seconds.
Here's the inbounds pass to Wacker, the freshman. All over him. Wacker won't put it on the floor. That's to his credit. He should have given it up as quickly as possible to Harper in the middle, who is a good free throw shooter.
He's 80%. He's 8 out of 10 at the foul line.
1 for 2 tonight.
Boy, you separate the men from the boys here, boy. All these foul shots so big. Skolman hit 1 out of 2. Now Wacker. Bottom of the net. What great release. What great form. If there was any tension in his hand, I didn't see it, Bucky.
All right, now Texas may apply some soft pressure now after this to make, with 10 seconds to go, to make Arkansas labor the ball up the floor a little bit. Not all-out pressure, but just make them dribble it. Just make them eat up some clock, getting the ball up the floor, and under no circumstances should they be fouling. They'd rather have overtime than gamble a 3-point
Big
play.
foul shot. Big foul shot. Here's U.S. Reed again. 7 seconds. 6. Sounds like the tease. 5. Shot. Tipped away. And Texas has won the game. Texas has upset Arkansas. An incredible upset. They win their first Southwest Conference game. They win only